Greetings, everybody, and welcome to Refugee to Industrial Regent, Season 2. Basileon Industria has need of a rail system to facilitate further growth, and, well, Byzantium needs a central terminal to serve as the central hub of the new Byzantine, or rather, Industrian rail system. As you can see, I've opted to build a bit of a road in the middle. The idea was really to try to make this light and airy. 8 platforms on the sides. No, I'm not actually building the platforms yet. This is actually a ground floor area that will be dedicated to shops. And in case you're wondering, that in front is not a new style of street that will become standard. It is simply a wider than average street that I decided would be good for this area of town. This is effectively Newtown Byzantium I'm working in at this point, so it does make sense to have a new type of road as its center. And the area in the back that I was working on there is actually the cartographer's shop that I just finished up, because we need better maps to facilitate the growth of the Imperium as well. But the cartographer's shop, I should note, is the only shop that actually formally gets finished. The rest of the shop sites, and there are 7, will get outlined, but they won't be filled yet. I will try to fill them before the end of the stage. It will be off-camera jobs. You can also see what I'm doing with the front there, basically trying to make it a big block as a focal point. A decision I will ultimately reverse. Now, each floor does take some time to sort out. Even if I'm not building the shops up, each floor takes a while. But now that I got the 8 shop sites done on the first floor, as well as the big windows at the end of each of the halls, which will eventually have stairways leading up to the rail lines, now it's time for the second floor. And the second floor is pretty simple. There's no walkways, there's nothing really fancy about it. Yes, there are a few mobs here and there that do give me fits, but nothing too complicated. And now we are getting the second floor mostly finished up, getting the ceiling in place. The second floor, incidentally, is going to be for certain aspects of the rail line that need to go underneath the rail line. This is going to be for things like minecart detectors and whatnot that most reasonably belong below the rail lines. And in case you're wondering, yes, I am building horizontal supports spanning the corridors. You also saw the first staircase. We could barely see the top of the first staircase, but now we have the actual platforms themselves being built. And I've basically opted to split each chamber into 2 rooms. One is the actual platform. The other is an area behind the track, which will, like the area below the tracks, be made available for use for supporting the rail lines. Now for the outside walls. And I've opted to go with a double-arched roof, low arches in both cases. A little bit on the fancy side, a little bit fancier than my normal roofs, but given that this is a fairly major structure, I thought it was appropriate. Now, as you can see, I am now using green stained glass. I will show you what I did to make that next episode. At any rate, more of the roof. Now the top left and top right should be finished at this point. And now it's a simple matter of building up the walls and getting the bottom part of the roof finished up, with a little bit of adjustment around the big box that was the entrance when I did this time lapse. Alright, I am back after that time lapse, and I'm actually going to start by pointing out the changes that I've made to my central rail terminal since the time lapse. The first one should be clear, the glass on the front. During the time lapse, I built that as a solid wall. The reason I changed that to glass was because my objective for here was to make this nice and open and airy. And I figured during the time lapse that the glass roof would be enough to accomplish that. And then I realized that this monstrosity that I had up here during the time lapse was not conductive to that. So I replaced it. I tore down the top part completely. The bottom part got scaled back quite a bit. And it will be turned into a ticket booth. I set out to put up the signage to actually make it a ticket booth. But that's not a huge deal. The other thing I did was add these stone brick walls as balusters on the stairs, and also as railings on the platforms, so that it's much harder for people to just fall off or jump off or whatever. And finally, I actually built the first two lines. This line over here is what I'm going to start with, because this is the line that is headed well, it's going to go to Odessos, and right now it goes to North Odessos. Later on this stage, and that will be a later episode, it will expand to South Odessos and to Fort Sarbanos. But for right now, it only goes to North Odessos. Yes, I did run parallel to the other line I built off camera. I will show you that line later this episode. In case you're wondering, that bit there is for a future project. And now I have arrived at the station in Odessos. And now I realize I could use some filler blocks. Ah well, I'll sort that out later. What I'm going to start with here is my support columns. So I'm going to go ahead and build a support column here for the actual station. Here, let's see, how about, well, actually, I don't think I want it there and there necessarily. I think what I want is here, and let me dig that out so that the bottom of the column is flush to the ground. Here, yeah, here, and I believe here. Yeah, that'll work. I'm wondering if I shouldn't have brought some scaffolding. Oh well. Alright. Now, let me think. Next step is to build out the half slabs. Like so, on the interior of the station. That's going to actually make this a platform. And you know what? I do really need some, well, maybe not, well, yeah, I do need the filler blocks. So let me run back to Byzantium and get them. This is also a good chance for me to time how long it takes for this train to travel from North Odessos to Byzantium. It doesn't seem to be that long. I mean, it does take some time. Of course, it's a distance of a couple hundred, I mean, the quick road is a couple hundred blocks. And the rail, because it goes a bit further north, is of course going to be longer. We are looking at about 36 seconds. That's not bad. 36 seconds. Now, admittedly, it does mean I will have to walk through Byzantium to get my filler blocks, but that's okay. Yeah. Of course, I've got enough of the streets upgraded that I can move along upgraded streets from the rail terminal to the storehouse. I'd like to get the rest of the system upgrade. Actually, one stack of that should be enough. 2 stacks of cobble. That means some chicken. Then there is one other type of block that I would like to have. That's not the row it's in, is it? No, that's not that chest. Ah, this chest right there. There we go. The small stone bricks that I've been using as baseboards. Alright, so now it's a bit of a walk back to Odessos. It's going to be about a minute or so from here to Odessos. Can I keep talking that long? Probably. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier this episode, I built out 2 lines from this above ground station. The one to Odessos. The other line goes to Petrola. And at the current time, Petrola is going to be the western terminus of the other line for the simple reason that I don't have anything to the west of Petrola. So it's not really feasible to justify building any further out. But yeah, as you may have noticed, the 2 lines do run parallel to here when they split off in different directions. Yes, Petrola is a little bit to the south of Odessos. So you may be wondering why the line actually goes north. It's because I have to go around some terrain. Alright, let's get this first stone brick in here. While I'm at it, there we go. Let's go ahead and do a quick little bit of equal trade. Because I got the blocks already in play, and rather than destroying them, it'd probably be easier just to replace them in place. Alright, now the next item on the list, the next layer, at least on the back part here, is the purple stained clay. And that's the other reason why I opted to bring the wand of equal trade, so that I can replace that block without having to worry about the button. Alright. Yeah, so let's go ahead and, you know what, yeah, we could probably use some stained glass at this point. Now, I'm using the purple, incidentally, to indicate that this is the main Imperial line. So, hopefully you don't read anything more into it than that. Why purple? Because purple is the main color of the Byzantine Empire. Alright. Now, is it high enough that I can roof it? No, I'm going to go one more. I'm going to go one more. There we go. The glass should keep it pretty airy. Alright. Now, let's see here. There we go. I'm wondering if I shouldn't have grabbed my scaffolding while I was back in Byzantium. Oh well. I'll grab it before I make the trip to Petrola. But in the meantime, the roof overhang, the next layer of the roof, and I will go ahead and put the stone brick slabs underneath just to provide a little bit of support, visual support at least for it. Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead, set up a very temporary structure to get up onto the roof in lieu of the scaffolding. There we go. Okay, that's not gone well. There we go, now that's more like it. Alright. Yeah, alright. So let's go ahead and do this here. And this side should be a little bit easier because I've got a full line of blocks to place this, well, almost a full line of blocks to place the stairs against. It also means I need to place down 2 of the slabs. Let's see here. How about some more glass there? Yeah, how about like so? And like so. No, not like that. Yeah, like this will work. I think I was aiming for a little bit more of a curvature than I actually got. Of course, short of microblocks, I'm probably not going to get any significant curvature on a roof of this size. And while I'm at it, I should be able to torch it up. Yeah. Probably should have brought some signs, but I can take care of the signage off camera. Yeah. So I'll go ahead back to Byzantium, restock, and I will see you with the final project of this episode. Alright. I did make a couple of last finishing touches on the station in Odessa. The big thing I did was replace the stone brick slabs I had put on the floor with the sandstone slabs that I had crafted specifically for the purpose of being the floor of these outer train stations. Now, the line to my left is the line to Odessa. I am now on the line to Petrola, which means you are now going to see it. The line to Odessa is relatively boring. It doesn't go through any terrain that you haven't really seen before. I say it's a couple hundred blocks to Odessa, but the distance to Petrola is even further. Vanilla Village there on the right. There's also Thaumcraft Totem, or whatever the heck it's actually called, I forget, that spawns some pretty nasty mobs. So you don't want to be sitting in a minecart on that stretch of track there. I took the line around that hill so I didn't have to tunnel through it, because frankly I didn't feel I could secure the tunnel entrance or exit against mobs. Alright, we're actually passing fairly close to South Odessa there, if only it would load properly. And now we're going through the icy forest. Yes, I did have to cut down a couple of trees. The hammer and this throw and dig spell, which I've been using a lot, and I do mean a lot. I think I started this stage at Ars Magica level 6 or 7. I'm at Ars Magica level 41. And that's entirely on the throw and dig spell. Well, there was some use of the touch and dig spell, but it's mostly this throw and dig that got me to Ars Magica level 41. But yeah, we're actually now going down, and we're running parallel to this bridge, going through this same mountain pass. We diverge slightly because the bridge makes a slight zig. Now we make our turn. We're actually in Petrola proper. That's our beekeeper's house there. And now we are where the station is going to be. Alright. So why don't I begin by laying out the support columns. Like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the other support column is going to be here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me go ahead and put that there and go ahead and equal trade this. 1 and 2. Go like so. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. This tree is going to be partially in the way, but I should be able to trim it back enough. And then over here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that block was misplaced. There we go. And I did actually bring my scaffolding this time, so I can actually get up onto the roof when the time is right. next up is the purple stained clay. There we go, like so. Now the glass to finish off the walls. Yep, going up like so. And like so. This is good. The stone brick stairs. And it might actually be a little bit easier to place these from the bottom. Might be. We will see. Yeah, it's proving not too bad from the bottom. And before you ask, no, the road system in Petrola is nowhere near as well developed as the system in Odessos. So that's why there's no road to the train station yet. Hopefully I'll get around to actually building a road system for Petrola this stage. I can't actually guarantee it, unfortunately. Alright, let's get the slabs up to support the next layer of the roof. And yes, I know it is getting dark. Fortunately, the area seems to be sufficiently well lit that I can actually get away with it. Let's see. A little bit of extra glass. There we go. Alright. Now let's get the underside of this roof sorted out. So get rid of that. And then I can go ahead and place my slabs. Like so. And that actually gets the roof done. So let's put our lights up. We can get rid of this torch. Quick check to make sure I'm not screwing up the lighting anywhere else. We are good. Now, let me go ahead and get the floor sorted out. This is the floor that I was going to build in Odessos and that I went off camera and rebuilt in Odessos. But yeah, here is our Petrola train station. Now, I'm probably going to be doing a little bit of work with bees off camera. Not too much, but a little bit. Yes, it will involve a carpenter, and likely some apiaries. I'll build a couple off camera. I might build one or two on camera between this episode and next. Well, two off camera between this episode and next. One on camera, probably next episode. I've also got another project in mind for next episode, but you'll just have to wait until then to see what I've got planned for next episode. And with that said, I will see you next time, everybody.